It really would have been butting your head against the wall to go to McMillan and say, give me home rule. So what you do is you go and see what is holding the McMillans in there. Blacks were beginning to register in the Voting Rights Act, and then they had this congressman who was their enslaver as much as ours. So they had more interest in getting rid of him than we did. What happened was a confluence of self-interest.
And in 1969, our efforts were in South Carolina. I noticed that the number of blacks who were registered in the 6th Congressional District, where John McMillan had been sent to Washington for 30 years, it had risen from 3% to 29%. Not enough to elect a black from that district, but enough to determine which white could win. Took numbers of citizens from the District of Columbia in buses down to the 6th Congressional District to urge more of our people to register and to urge them to vote for an opponent of John L. McMillan.
Between now and November the 3rd, I expect to spend every day and night in visiting every town in my district.
Fauntleroy and all the people following Fauntleroy for our rights, and I was definitely included in that. We went down into southern states lobbying against him, his own home state, and lobbying for blacks to understand what this man was doing, not only to blacks in Washington, but if you do it to blacks in Washington, you're doing it to blacks in Mississippi and Tennessee and California and elsewhere. They understood that.
I think that the people have become conscious of the fact that they are not alone in the struggle and that they no longer have to continue with an individual who for the past 32 years have not voted for those things which would spell progress.
And in fact, it was that because we finally got him the democratic way.
Well, this is a new experience for me. I never dreamed of having people from Washington, New York, and every other place, some as far as Oregon and Washington here, last couple of days, telling the people how to vote and going over all the voting activities of the people of this district. So it is really a new experience.
What is your feeling about that? How do you feel about people coming in here?
Personally, I don't want anyone coming in this district trying to tell people I represent how to vote. I think they're well capable of deciding themselves who they want to represent them in Washington, and I'm willing to abide by any decision they may make.
I'll never forget the day or the hour. It was on October the 12th, 1972, because the news was that Johnny Mack ain't going back.